Hello, guys. Welcome to the Watchalong for the Australian Grand Prix qualifying session. Apologies for keep some of you waiting. Primcat, nice to see you in there. Kimi Phoenix. I bet the do-rag on Hamill's head in the thumbnail was a present from Kim K. Rap album. Kim K and Hamill. Hamill head. Kim K. Is that the new collab? Music collab? That'd be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Hello, Primcat. Nice to see you join us. And everybody else. It's a bit of a mess on my end. Let's just use it off. Well, a big qualifying session. If you've been watching practice, it does look close in. It looks close in Q3, FP3, should I say? A 10th between the top three. George Russell hit the top, so it's going to be close, which will be nice. Happy Saturdays. Yes, it is. Race weekend Saturdays. A hot Saturday here. Bit of a bit dying, actually. I feel like what you guys, us guys, might feel in the heat in summer. It's absolutely roasting. And it's, it's a bit of a struggle for us guys here in the UK. Nice struggle, should I say. Like 30 plus degrees, so you probably think we're a bit soft. But it's not been this hot. The hottest July in like nearly 60 years or something silly. 50 years. But I'll take it. Better than the rain. So yeah, a little bit slow. I think I am. Anyway. But yeah, big qualifying session. It'll tell us an awful lot. Lots of teams bought upgrades. I'm not sure if you've heard, but it was covered in the preview. The big news is the Ferrari engine. Despite it's been 2 weeks since Monaco, is it? I'm losing track of things here, but just a couple of weeks since Monaco, where they got the announcement of a duo, or is it after Canada? So yeah. It's a big change. We were thinking 7 to 8 weeks, they said, for the new engine upgrades, and it rocked up on the Ferrari already here in Austria. So they were, it's not like they got special information and knew the information first, but I think they knew very early on that they were going to get some upgrades. So they started work on them early, and we've not really seen I mean, Lewis was playing it down. It's not massive. So was Fred, but we've seen them do that before, and we've not had that moment where they've sort of said, "Yeah, this is a big one. Let's see where we are with this one yet." There's almost downplayed almost every upgrade that they've had to say it's not a big step yet. The big step. So we're waiting for that big step to come. At the moment, it's nowhere in sight. But he went on and won the Barcelona Grand Prix on pace. The fact that he was third, the next fastest behind the Mercedes is good. Good for Lewis, good for Lewis fans. So we'll see. So climate change isn't a hoax. It doesn't feel like it's a hoax at the moment. You can say what you want about climate change, and I'll absolutely agree about it, but I think the issue with climate change is, correct me if I'm wrong here, but for me, it's more like how you tackle it rather than whether it's a thing. And at the moment, they're going for the 1%, which is making everybody else, the people in general and the public. I don't know what it's like where you are in your world and your experiences, but over here, it's more like they just make the people pay, and it's more like a tax rather than actually a way of challenging the actual issue and fixing climate change, in a sense of 90% or 99% of the pollution comes from factories, and they're working on fixing what the people cause to the climate. Which is like taxing cars and doing all that, because basically that's where the money comes from. So it's It's more like a secret tax, in my opinion, than a thing. But anyway, that's politics, not F1. Don't know why I'm going off on about it. It's like you touched a nerve there, Primcat. It hasn't. It's not that deep, but it is what it is. Nice summer, but it's very hot in Australia. Australia. It's Austria. You'll know that how hot or cold it is in Australia. But yeah, in Austria, very hot. 33 degrees, 91 Fahrenheit. Declared a heat hazard, so drivers are allowed to wear cooling vests. I think they means that they can wear. Gives them a slightly more weight advantage in the car if they want to do that. I don't think they've mandated it yet, and I think that's the difference, isn't it? If you just let drivers choose it, they'll go with what makes them fastest. So whether it's a mandatory thing or not, it's something I probably should check on that, really, as we are 2 minutes from the start. Fahrenheit is Yankee for isolation. Yeah, big companies do the most damage. Yep, it definitely does. Agree with you on that, Kimi. But do the least, or the governments do the least in terms of making them make the big differences. But you pay to go into the city for climate change and stupid things like that. I don't know if you do that over there in Oz, but we do over here now. Certain cities you pay to drive in with your car for climate change. Yeah. How about the factory that's just on the edge of town polluting the bloody place? How about that? Anyway. The McLarens look quick, at least in free practice. So closer from the McLarens. Traditionally, they've gone well and stronger around here. They look good in both free practice sessions. Dropped off a little bit in free practice 3, but interesting to see where they'll line up. Racing Bull, or the Red Bulls, not Racing Bulls, they've come with a big upgrade package for the home race. Still look like the third, fourth fastest car, so it don't look like they'll be challenging up at the front or at the top. And your pay is giving us tax breaks and petrol taxes, so we pay less. That's probably nice, isn't it? They're actually doing something for the people and not ripping you off. We seem to have the opposite over here. They do everything to take every penny out of your pocket, then put some pennies in your pocket. Probably is the way life is here. Apologies, guys. Oh, it went down the wrong way. Least prep country for an oil shortage. Well, I think we'll be all right, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And breathe. Yeah. Managed it. Breathing. Still going. Cadillac's out first, and one of the cars didn't even get out of the garage. Did you watch that, guys? Fix the turning circle on that one, or they've completely messed it up. They've had a bad Austria Grand Prix, haven't they? The Cadillacs. It's not gone well for them at all. Get myself back in the middle of the screen for you. I'm like in one corner, aren't I, at the moment on the thing? I don't choke on a chair. Yeah, don't pop off midstream. That'd be a dramatic one, wouldn't it? Geez, how do you die? Glass of water. It's on live. But yeah, the Cadillacs look horrendous. They've had just in first free practice sessions, they were just breaking down, fire, suspension issue, and they've actually bought upgrades. So it was meant to be promising from them, but it's 999 over here. out of the system now. And breathe again. But yeah, who have you got for qualifying pole position, guys? I'm going to go for Kimi Antonelli after looking at the way he's just been in practice sessions, been brilliant. I know George Russell was P1 and FP3, but Kimi just looks absolutely on it this weekend. And sadly, I don't think the Ferrari is, despite the upgrades and the new engine, quite there. And if it's a good lap, and a very, very good lap from Lewis, yeah, that sounds about right, Kimmy. It won't be London, it's Manchester, UK. North of, we're north, not south, of this tiny island that pretends it's so big. Got Max for this. Oh, so we've got a split here. We've got a Max Russell, and I'm gone for Kimi. Jeez, this cough is like. Russell first on the board. Yeah, the birds are out. I've got the door open today. I don't know if you can hear much from the outside noise. It's because it's quite hot in this outhouse that I've got, and no AC or cooling. Well, I've got a little fan here, but I turned it off because you probably get a horrible whirring noise in the mic, which is not great. Max goes fastest. Q1. Who's going to go out first? My bet is bottom Aston Martin. Apparently, a big meeting in the Barcelona with Honda and Aston Martin. Honda remained committed to the cause, was the outcome. So it's surprising that actually that they're already batting away calls of, yeah, we're committed to this project already very early on. I'm surprised you can hear that in the mic, the birds. I've not noticed it, to be fair. Maybe because I've got this in my ear, trying to watch, listen to this and talk. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. But yeah, already batting away talks, Aston Martin and Honda sort of batting away talks that they're committed to this project. So that's an interesting one. Lando Norris quickest. Lewis fastest in the middle sector. First sector, sorry. Leclerc 2/10 down. Something I've not been able to find out is Charles Leclerc, if he's still on the carbon industry brakes or he's gone back to the Brembo. Was it one hit in Barcelona and back to what he knew, or is he committed to that more, which is be an interesting thing on Charles Leclerc's side, because he followed Lewis on that, hasn't he? And he sort of said it was better but not perfect. So we'll see what happens going forward. So I would like to know that one. But we'll see what happens with the Aston Martin Honda partnership. Alonso as well, sort of remaining positive on that side. Didn't have too much talk of retirement or anything like that as well, which is interesting. Committed. Still thinks the step that or the choice that they made is the right choice of just almost scrap this. We won't bring small upgrades. We'll just go put in the hard work, suffer, and we'll see the reward. And round 14 is really where they've targeted themselves to be, well, closer to the points, I guess. I don't know where their aim is, because it's hard to say, isn't it? Do you want to just be closer to just the guys ahead, which is like, do you want to just be closer to the 18th and 19th team or the 17th team, or do you want to actually find points because you've got to make a few seconds a lap out of this car to just be there? Forget sort of top 4, but we've seen, and everybody's been saying here actually, is because it's a whole new formula, the upgrades, if anybody does bring upgrades, are generally a big step. Apart from if you're Ferrari, apparently, because they just keep saying that they're taking baby steps with upgrades, and sort of writing themselves off a little bit, as Kimi Antonelli takes top spot, a 1:7:08, 2/10 on Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, and then 3/10 back. It's close between Hadjar and Max Verstappen, isn't it? A 10th in this session. Russell going for a second lap. He's P8, but he's 7/10 off Kimi Antonelli. That's your man, Kimi. He's, I mean, it's only Q1. But interesting to see how this lap is actually faster. It's interesting to see how the tyres last, because in Barcelona, it was really just one hit tyre run, wasn't it? It wasn't more than that. It was, you got one run and you had to make it work. And it seems like it's almost the same here. Like, even though George was faster, that's probably just a better lap. But I think it looks like you're just going to get one run here, so you've got to do it on the first. Well, you're still going to get 2 runs in Q3, the first run and the second run, but you're not going to get a second lap on that tyre, which we've seen that they've been able to do all the way up until Barcelona. And it looks like this circuit is following Barcelona. It's probably just the heat, 33 or 33 degrees out in Austria. Upgrades on the Audi as well, as we watch Nico Hülkenberg, or I watch Nico Hülkenberg. I'm not sure where you guys are on your timing. It's 7 minutes, 7:06. 7 minutes exactly left in the session now. Oh, bottomed out. The Hülkenberg going around that final corner. This looks like a really scruffy lap from the Audi of Nico Hülkenberg. They're 14th and 15th at the moment. But it's close between the top 4, also the top 8, top 4 teams. 4/10, half a second between Mercedes first and Mercedes 8th. The problem is that it seems as though it's hard to find the 2 or 3 tenths, isn't it? They should be getting 4 or 5 good laps from a new tyre operator. Yeah, but it's, well, we've gone to the good old days, wasn't it? It was always like one run and chuck them in the bin and go. But there was a time of where they would just throw tyres away for fun, wouldn't they? And cost cap and all that sort of stuff wasn't a thing. I still remember the days of one shot qualifying, one car on track, and you got your run. That was awful. Probably one of the worst ideas we've seen in a long time. I quite like this qualifying session of what we've seen now, Q1, Q2, and a Q3, because we get the best of what we saw pre all that, where it was qualifying was boring for 50 minutes, but the last 10 minutes of the original qualifying sessions in 98, 99 were absolutely like magic 10 minutes. And then they killed it. And then now this is like a good format, haven't they? Thankfully, no talk of changing qualifying formats, kind of like what we've seen with sprint and all that sort of stuff. This seems to work. Yeah, but Kimi did it. I don't know if I'm just getting confused or tricked in my mind here, but in qualifying, it was one lap, wasn't it? I don't remember them just sort of going again and getting the best out of that tyre, as in the best had gone. Whereas this year, especially pre-Barcelona, they could get 2 very good laps on a set of tyres. The second lap almost was better than the first, as they were getting the temperature into the tyre. Barcelona came along, and with the heat, that didn't happen. And in Austria, it looks like we've got the Barcelona effect of one real good lap, and then the best of that tyre's gone. You can't do a cool down and go again. I don't know if that's just me being me and not remembering. The bid for a Tottenham's was a lot in, yeah. And that whole toll thing was annoying. I didn't like that either. You just do your lap. It's understandable. It's racing, isn't it? And any little gain, you go for it. But 3 minutes. Talk of Luca Hulkenberg's lap. They just mentioned that it's. They said the tyres gave up after turn 3, and it's probably why it looks so scruffy on Nico Hulkenberg's run. He was all over the place. I mean, turn 3, you've not done anything yet. You've just gone down the main home straight. Turn 1, turn 2 is not a turn, isn't it? It's the kink in the straight. I think they class as turn 2, and then turn 3 is a turn. And you've lost your tyres in 2 straights, which is a bit. That's a tough one, isn't it? Well, that PSI related. Well, you'd hope it is. I hope there's some fix, isn't it? But they have set minimums, or is it maximums, of what they're allowed to do, set by Pirelli, and I think pretty much everybody's on the limits on that, because it's the fastest way to have your tyre set on PSIs. But I know they do fiddle around with them. But the problem is I think it is the minimum. If you can't have it set at the minimum, then you. I need to double check that. I don't know if my mind's playing trick on me now, but I don't know if it's if you have it at slightly anything above, it's either the minimum or the maximum that Pirelli set in terms of tire pressures. You're losing time basically. So the fastest guys are the ones that can have it at the limit, and if you can't have it at the limit, you're losing time. But you get a tire that lasts the full lap. The tires are slow. Yeah. They are a bit snowflakes, aren't they? I hate it, and it's. I'm not quite saying it, this is the Formula One just yet, but I hate it when we get. As I just clear, where we get a tire formula, like that is the absolute worst type of Formula One. I'd much rather have this sort of engine formula of Formula One than a tire formula of Formula One, if that makes any sense to you guys. And I know we go through cycles on these things, Pedal to the Metalhead. Welcome to the chat and for the watch along. Snowflake tires, yeah. Pedal to the Metalhead. I like it. Carlos Snides. He sneaks through. Signs and Snides. He snides in. Lindblad through. Stroll is closer to Fernando Alonso, but it looks like he's going to be out-qualified Fernando again. Bortoletto is really fighting that Audi. But he's only just sneaking through. Lawson with a brilliant lap. 3/10. 3/10 of fastest in a Racing Bulls. It's Lance Stroll pit, so he's last. He's been out-qualified again by Fernando Alonso. Then comes the two Cadillacs, no surprise, and it's two Williams as both Haas and the Audis make it through. That was close. George Russell does a lap, and he's still, what is he? 3/10 off. So he's taken two, but that's surprising from George Russell. Kimi, I'd be worried with your prediction on that one. That doesn't look good for George, does it? And he can't be 3 or 4 places off the back of Kimi Antonelli come Q3, can he? That's going to be a massively disappointing qualifying session if that happens. Pedal to the Metalhead. Get in the comments. Who is your prediction for pole? I'm going with Kimi Antonelli. We've got a Max and we've got a George Russell prediction so far. So get yourself in the comments on that one. Fernando Alonso, yeah, that was a good lap. Not what we want, but not too far. Jeez, you're a second off the Cadillac. Not good, but Hamilton P1. Oh, I'd love that. I'll celebrate with you on that one, Pedal to the Metal. Absolutely amazing. I just can't see past Kimi Antonelli. I know he's topped this session as well, and with a lap that he did very early on, and then just quietly went back into the garage and chilled. The guy is on a mission, Kimi Antonelli, at the moment. He looks like the man to beat, but the McLarens are going to throw themselves in the mix. It looks like it's going to be very, very close behind them, and normally happens and should happen on shorter laps. I know over the last couple of Grand Prix qualifying sessions, we've been saying, haven't we, that the gaps between the teams has just got bigger. But here it's shrunk again, and kind of what we expected to see, probably what we expected in Canada as well, given that it's just short lap, but it didn't happen in Canada. We did get massive gaps between the teams. I mean, we've got a massive gap at the back of the field, haven't we? It's a second. I mean, Lance Stroll is, if they upgraded their car and found 2 seconds, they'd still go out in Q1. That's how far away the Aston Martin is. And they say they're going to bring upgrades. And that's what I was saying earlier, is like, I just feel like I'm hammering Aston Martin in this in this watch along at the moment. But I just don't know why. But they just really do me head in at the moment. They're just so bad. But if they find 2 seconds in a car when you think that's a hell of a lot of performance, that only still takes them out in Q1, and you've not beaten a Williams. I think he want more than gardening leave after that one, wouldn't he? Flipping, eh? Like, he's gone there with a big moneyed signing and deal, and well, I mean, you're 2 seconds off, or a second off a Cadillac. It's shocking. It's unreal. Nearly 2.5 of Bottas. Sorry, Perez. Perez outqualifies Bottas again, but Bottas closer, about a tenth. They just need to get to an end of a Grand Prix, don't they? And Sergio Perez seems to be able to manage that in a Cadillac, but Valtteri hasn't, has he? That's something that he needs to really get on top of. Is Mr. Bottas. I'm a bit disappointed with him as well. He might be the next rant that I go on about Valtteri, as much as I absolutely love him. And do you guys take him as he's a, what do you call it? Like a customary Aussie, isn't he? Or like a secondary Aussie? You've taken him in, haven't we? He's your second child. Second fan. I don't know how to best describe the words, not coming in my head, but yeah. He's your man. And I absolutely love the second Valtteri of what he's become, but he's been poor this season. There's just no two ways about it, is there? I really, really wanted him to come in and absolutely hammer Perez for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't hate Perez. I just don't really like him. Like, as in, I'd want Valtteri to wipe the floor with him, and there's no real reason. Honorary Aussie, that's the one. Yes, thank you guys. I got there. You guys got there for me eventually. The words probably got swallowed with that cough I've been having, isn't it? But yeah, I absolutely want him to wipe the floor with Sergio Perez, and it's not really quite happened, has it? It's yeah, I've got to say it's disappointing. There's just I dislike Sergio. Well, yeah, what is it? Me too, Kimi. I don't know what it is. I can't understand why I don't like him as much as I probably should like him. There's nothing that he's done either that I think I dislike. I know people really dislike him for what he did with Lewis and the second driver, really dirty driving and that aggressiveness and being that. But I've always quite liked that in a driver. Like, I almost like the dirtiness to win, like that. Going almost beyond the limit to win is like, I know people criticize like the greats, but they've all done it, and that's what's made them great. Like, and it's kind of why I can't seem to. Well, I've started to just like Max Verstappen now, despite him being that kind of guy. But it's Schumacher did it, Senna did it, Hamilton did it. As much as you might say he's a clean driver, yes, he's not had any big moments where you'd say, yeah, that was a bit questionable of whether that's, you know, he's purposely rammed someone off the road, for example. But he was really aggressive. Either you take me out or I go past sort of moves, which were, you know, a little bit frowned upon, you've got to say. So they've all had that ruthlessness in there, and Perez did it, but he's just, I don't know what it is. He whinges too much and self-pity. Yeah, maybe it's that. But he's actually a very good driver. Like, the win that he had, the fact that he won in is it Force India Racing Point at that point when he actually won a Grand Prix, and it was a quite brilliant win as well. It's like he's a Grand Prix winner at a crap team, or not a very good team. But it's I just don't understand why he's not really like there. But he's done well this season, as much as you can bang on about him hating him. And Valtteri really needs to sort himself out and up his game a little bit. Carlos Sainz outqualifies Alex Albon. The Williams are going to do some to keep on to Carlos Sainz. His seat, or them keeping him, is up in the air as well, aren't they? You can drive well, but only 30% of the time. Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe he's like he's Steady Eddie, that's like not quite good enough to be there all the time. Yeah, probably. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that 30% of the time kind of guy. Because he's, at moments, absolutely brilliant, but not consistently brilliant. He can't do it over the whole race distance. There's moments where he's absolutely amazing, Sergio's, and then just not thereafter. So yeah, I don't get it. Well, Carlos Sainz, rumors are that he could potentially move, but where would you go if you were him? And is he kicking himself for the Audi seat? And that is the rumor of where he might go. Still rumors with Red Bull, with Max Verstappen. They've come out and said that we're not sure if we'll be able to keep him. Lauren McKees here this weekend has said as much. Rumors are, though, that George Russell has tied himself in for 27, at least at 100%. He'll stay for 27, so that's George Russell done in his seat. Max Verstappen's seat is up in the air, and so we are in silly season, or close to silly season, aren't we, with driver moving around? So it's where, who ends up where. Is Oscar still looking for a move because Norris is the golden child at McLaren? Who will go to McLaren? Will Max go there if the Mercedes seats are set? Ferrari, well, they've clearly banked on Charles Leclerc. Will they want someone else? Lewis, in this form, doesn't look like he's going to retire anytime soon, and he can go on for a couple of years yet. So there's not a Ferrari seat, and I can't see a Max Ferrari mashed together at the moment. But Carlos to Red Bull is probably the best he can hope for. But if Max goes from Red Bull, I don't know who they give the seat. Do they give it to Arvid Lindblad? Have they shown enough yet to show that he can step up into that seat? Will they give it to Liam Lawson, who's... I'm not sure he's quite done enough yet to say, yeah, that's definitely my seat should something happen with Max. He's been better over the last couple of Grand Prix, but for me, not just quite there yet. Russell at Red Bull. Williams are showing progress in development, though. It'd be strange for Carlos to abandon them now. Yeah. But he's not, has he? He's almost sort of said, I'm not quite happy with what Williams had promised and what they've delivered. And they've got to prove to him that they can do that through this season. So it's a big in-season development race for Williams, not just to go closer and, start making it out of Q1, especially when they were like the fifth best team and had a really quite brilliant season last year. What were they, best of the rest in the end? So they're going to have to go some. But where does he go? And it is strange almost if he does abandon him, but because he picked them over the Audi, so he's already said, I believe in Williams over what I believe Audi can do. And is he gonna? Strange one. Russell to Racing Bulls, or Red Bull, should I say? For some reason I can't see it. I don't know why, but he just doesn't look like a Red Bull driver. He's not. He's a bit dull, isn't he? Like he's just a dull Brit in some like ways of the way he is. Like there's nothing exciting about George Russell. He's very classy, elegant. I could see him in the way he dresses and looks. He could be like a Ferrari model. But I don't see him being that sort of hip Red Bull guy just yet. He's a very good driver as well, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be interesting. Leclerc's fastest. Lewis is faster in the first sector, down in the middle sector. He needs a big final sector. But he's down on Max Verstappen's time, so he's going to have to go some to be front row. Oh, 9 thousandths. Fastest sector 1 and sector 2, Lewis Hamilton. Lindblad 7th. That's a good lap. Lawson a 10th ahead, or less than a 10th ahead. I've been impressed with Arvid Lindblad this season. He's really been one of the kids that I thought, go on, lad. Gasly was scary from Pierre. Fastest, good lap, 6th. Well, we still have to see Kimi Antonelli. I reckon George would love another option than Kimi's teammate. You think so, Kimi? I'm not sure about that. Mercedes are top dogs. He's waited for them to have a championship car He's now got that. The problem is this young kid's come in, just been absolutely brilliant. No two ways about it. Sainz and Lawson swap. Pedal to the metal. But would Sainz want that? The Racing Bulls are not a top team, are they? The second to Red Bull, so they're never going to beat Red Bull, are they? In a sense, or never should beat Red Bull. Right. I know it's right now. You don't see Williams beating Red Bull either, but they've got a lot of financial backing. They're building and stepping in the right direction, but I don't see Williams being a top team for another few seasons yet. I think Aston Martin will get there before Williams do, and that's saying something considering Aston Martin are plumb last and need to find 3 seconds or a second and a bit to a Cadillac. Potential is what signs will change, but the potential is not there in Racing Bulls, is it? Racing Bulls are Red Bull's second team. I think if he was to go anywhere, I'd probably say out of Williams. I think that's the thing. Am I being a bit harsh on Racing Bulls here? I don't know. But I've never seen Racing Bulls to be like the top team because the funding is going into just the one team at the front. And I think that's why we shouldn't have two teams owned by one person effectively or group like the Red Bull is, because they're always going to be less than the big dog team, aren't they? Not quite got the investment as and all the rest of it as what we've seen with the main Red Bull team with the Racing Bulls. Share a lot of info, data, all that sort of stuff. So great for the main team, but not for Racing Bulls. You just can't ever see Racing Bulls going to win a championship, can you? Might win the odd race, but I don't think they'd ever win a championship. Yeah, potential is what Williams sold him, didn't they? But they've just not delivered. Last year was good. This year, where you thought after a good last year, they'd really step up, and they bigged this year up so much that now they're going out. Q1 is really quite poor, isn't it? They were right up there, and actually, you think they'd best set for it. They have the best engine on the grid in the Mercedes, and they've not delivered a car, have they? I think that's been the big thing, and I think that's the really interesting thing here. And I think probably what is really underrated about this Mercedes is how good of a car it actually is. I know we talk all engine, but we've got McLaren in that engine, a Williams with that engine, and they're not on the level of the Mercedes, are they, or anywhere close at the moment. I think that's why I rate what Audi have done so well, because they've come in first time producing an engine like Honda. They've beat teams like Honda. They've got beating a Cadillac, who have actually got a Ferrari engine, and they're not even producing their own engine like Audi, but have their own chassis, and they're beating them. They're right in there with the Racing Bulls and or thereabouts with the Racing Bulls, who have 100 actually who have done. They're a proper team, aren't they? They've been there for a little while, and mixing it with proper teams, Audi. So, like, what a job! You look at the grid, and or if you looked at the timesheets, Audi are not a team that you pick out as being a rookie in their rookie season, isn't it? Really, I know they've got the Sauber, and it was a Sauber, and they've still got all that sort of stuff, but Sauber and like that had the big investment, quite like Aston Martin have they? So it's an absolutely brilliant job from them. There's no two ways about that. About a tenth back the McLarens on the Mercedes. They look close, don't they? But they've got pace to split potentially if the Mercedes get a bad lap. I mean, well, they've done that, haven't they, already? George Russell, he's getting closer to Kimi Antonelli. For you there, potential there, Kimi, better lap, but he's still 2/10 of Kimi Antonelli. And it's looked like that all through practice, to be fair. Like, Kimi's looked just on a level. A little bit like Lewis over Charles. Lewis, you can see that this little bit of momentum. Charles is, and this is actually potentially not one of Lewis's better races, is it? He's only won twice, which may as well be none at this circuit. He's not really drove well around Austria, and he's right up there. He seems to have the edge on Charles Leclerc. Kimi is special. He is very special, isn't he? Like, the more you watch him and what he's produced this season, like, you just think this kid is. You could see why Toto was sort of quietly buzzing, and this whole buzz and excitement around him, despite him coming in and that reveal in Italy, in his home country, that he's going to be the man to replace Lewis Hamilton, and to take all that. Like, we've seen people fall under that sort of pressure, massive, and this is a young kid. To take the great seat of a great driver in a top team, and everybody's looking at him. And yes, he dropped it on his first outing in Italy as well in free practice, and then to bounce back, he's been like absolutely brilliant. But Lewis and Charles, 5th and 6th, they need to come to the party, don't they? Ferrari. And what we've seen, generally speaking, is that they're not able to do what the others do in Q3. So we've got a Mercedes split by 2 McLarens at the moment. So sadly, rather than a Ferrari. 19 to go. Bayerman out. You're not going to be able to. Well, you could try to do another lap, can't you? But I don't think it's going to have the quiet pace. Hulken out. Gasly is good middle sector. Colapinto. Max could be out. Jeez. Upgrades galore. Oh, he's not full. 40 thousandths. That is close. Max can breathe a sigh of relief. A Red Bull can breathe a sigh of relief. That was close. Max Verstappen just sneaks into Q3. Upgrades on that car, and well, that is one big deep breath. Someone will be taking in that Red Bull strategy core team, won't they? Of maybe the run plans or whatever, just to make sure they didn't do another run to get through. But that was next to nothing in it. So close. But the Alpines out. Racing Bulls, both Racing Bulls replacing the Alpines as best of the rest in that session. So really, really good session from the pair of them. And it's what? Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari. And Hadjar has actually done well. He's been a lot closer to Max Verstappen in this session so far. And then the two Racing Bulls, 8th and 9th, Lawson and Lindblad. And nothing between the two of them again. We're looking at 20 thousandths or 19 thousandths of a second between Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad. That's really good from both of them, that. It'll just be 1 second. Oh, now it's a big one. The best 10 minutes of a Saturday qualifying anyway. On race weekend. One of the best 10 minutes, actually, I've got to say. There's nothing like the hype of Q3, is there? Despite Lewis and Ferrari being a little bit off, I like secretly praying that they just pull something special here. If you can get pole or on front row, then all that championship hype will be rewarded, won't it? Petrolhead, he was very lucky, wasn't he? Pedal to the metalhead. Called him Petrolhead. Pedal to the metalhead. Yeah, he was very lucky. Absolutely nothing between him and nearly going out, but he's on the right side of staying in, and that's all that counts, isn't it? It's a tough one. McLaren look good. Can they make the step up in Q3 though? Or are they just putting the best that they can? Oh, Gasly said he felt like a very good lap, so that's all she wrote, to be fair. Behrman, that was all she had, really. Pretty good lap as well, and that's all he could do. A P13 out-qualifies his teammate again, Esteban Ocon. Behrman's done well this season. Had some really good races. Got the better of Esteban Ocon. I don't know if he's really good, or is it Esteban Ocon has not had a great... You still picking with it? Staying with it, Primcat? Fair enough. We can have a change now that we're in Q3. We will let you have, considering he's just sneaked into Q3, a second chance at a second pick if you wish to change your mind on that one. But upgrades on the Red Bull, I genuinely thought that they could be in with a surprise. Yeah, the question mark, giving that sort of doubt there, isn't it, Kimi? No judgment here if you change your mind. It's part of it. Maybe Max just didn't get a good lap. McKee's saying that he didn't want to do an extra lap just to save the tyres. He's now on an equal footing as those guys ahead. To have two fresh sets, unlike his teammate Isaac Hadjar has only got one set. So Isaac's lap, we'll see which one he... I mean, he's got to put the old tyre on his first run, hasn't he, Isaac, and then get the best of the track conditions towards the end of the session. Maybe we're judging you too early there, Primcat, because Max did that on used tyres. So there is some pace, potentially, for you to be correct. Imagine if he pulls it off. Like, you can't... The problem is as much as you can say Red Bull are not there, you always have that doubt that Max can pull something special out. And that's something about... Just as like a... Why everybody wants a great driver, don't they? Yep, you're right. Never discount Max. Done that a few times. Still, he just pulls it out, doesn't he? Like Monaco, the final sector where he kicked Fernando Alonso off pole position. The lap that never was in Abu Dhabi was like, not Abu Dhabi, Saudi, where he hit the wall in the final corner, was like just like he's just absolutely just amazing. As much as you might not like him or whatever, you're right. He can like drive lawnmower. He can do it. He can. He's just absolutely brilliant like that. Superhuman Max, yeah. He's definitely special, isn't it? Whether you like him or you don't like him, that's a separate judgment that you can have and debate and all that sort of stuff. You cannot doubt the boy's talent, though. That's one thing you cannot do with Max Verstappen because he's absolutely phenomenal, that guy. Q3 session started, and it's not quite the rush that we've seen in Barcelona to get out because it is a shorter lap, so you don't need to run out. So a couple of minutes. As they just show a feature up on the previous polls in Austria, it's been Max Verstappen for 4 out of the last 5 years. Lando Norris last time out, where the McLaren was brilliant, wasn't it? But I just don't see the McLarens quite having the pace. I've been almost writing George Russell off as well for pole position at the moment. I just don't think he's going to have it, but you can't write anybody off at the moment, can you? It's a bit of a weird one. Something about Oscar being off pace isn't good for Lando. Oh, that's controversial. Not sure about that. If you've got a good teammate and you beat a good teammate, there's nothing good. There's nothing but good about that, is there? And if you've got a really good teammate and the odd time he beats you, it's not always bad for you, is it? Prost, Senna, like these guys, like they became greats because their teammates were greats. But yeah, you're right to question it, isn't it? If you can say that, look, Oscar was so good, but now I'm wiping the floor with him. Look how great I am now. I'm not sure. I'd rather see an Oscar that's firing on all cylinders, which we've not quite seen this season like he was last season. Like he was phenomenal last season, especially in the first, in 15 races, wasn't he? It was 5 races which lost him the World Championship, sadly, and the 5 races he struggled at the year before, where it seemed to carry on. But yeah, they're all coming out, trickling out for their first runs. He was robbed of wins last year. He was. I think the hard thing is, it was almost like what you've seen with Kimi and George in Barcelona. And I know it's like, the car ahead gets the preferred strategy, but if you're both fighting for a championship, and I know this is where it's hard if it's your same team and it comes into it, but if your driver just says, right, I'm going to pit now to undercut the driver ahead, who might be my teammate, but we're racing him, then surely they've just got to say, yeah, well, all right, we'll go for it and pit. Like it just doesn't, it's just not right, is it? And that happened like far too many times And the whole Monza switchback thing was ridiculous as well. Like, Norris lost out. Just what it is. That was racing. So, yeah, I feel he was robbed out as well. Yeah, 100% they were. It was almost sad. I think it just dented Norris's championship that little bit. I know he was always the McLaren golden boy, and he got the championship. Max Verstappen, 2 purple sectors. This is your time to shine, Primcat. Shut us all up. 6, 4, 7, 5. That's the fastest lap ever we've seen this weekend. Oscar now 2/10 behind. Well, we were dumbing him down and he was nearly out in Q2, but Max Verstappen just showing you why he's Max Verstappen, isn't he? What a lap from Max Verstappen. Absolutely brilliant. Leclerc 2/10. Kimi. Lewis on the radio complaining about something. I'm not sure what though yet. What a lap. Kimi Antonelli. He was down. And he's just snuck ahead of Kimi Antonelli. Mercedes have upped the game a bit. Russell just behind. Less than half a tenth. This is going to get good, isn't it? McLaren are good. What is Lewis? We're meant to have a bank of fuel? Lewis didn't get a lap. Oh, he messed up his... Oh, he didn't have enough fuel for a second. No. So Lewis is on the back foot. No time from him. Pedal head. It's not looking good, is it? Pedal to the metal head for Lewis. No lap time yet. He's messed up his first run and they didn't have enough fuel to do a second run, which is a little bit of a shame. It's going to come down to his final run, isn't it? He's just got one run. That's some added pressure that you didn't need, Lewis Hamilton. They're not panicking, though, which is good to see. This is close now, isn't it? Oh, it's a big 4 minutes. I think it'd be a good race tomorrow. Sorry if you can hear this fan that I've just put on. If it's too noisy, can you just let me know in the comments? I'll switch it off. I hope you can't. Apparently, this mic should dim that sort of stuff out. That's why you spend a little bit more on it. But a big 4 minutes because it's close. Max Verstappen with that lap. Jeez, I thought he might steal pole position. Kimi has just snuck past him. Shows how good a lap that was from Max Verstappen because he didn't seem to have that pace all session. And now he's less than a tenth behind pole position, man. Like we were bigging up Max Verstappen before. Like him or loathe him or whatever you want to do about him, but you just cannot... No, he's not fastest laps. He's fastest in sector 1 and 2 from Max Verstappen, and it's sector 3 where he was let down by what was the difference? Oh yeah, a bit of a distance, isn't it? 3 tenths or 2.5 tenths. Where if Max can get his final sector right, and is that because he took too much out of his tires? that'll be the interesting part. Did Max take too much of his tyres, and that's why he's got a brilliant 1 and 2, or can he go that little bit further? That's better with your Ferrari badge, yep. I can see that pedal to metal. Oh, everybody out. Final run. Max is out on track. A bit of a judder. No further investigation for Lindblad. Unsafe release. 1 minute 40 to go. Was this the big 1 minute 40, 1:30? Lewis, is he the first around? He's the first one to set his, well, it's not benchmark, is it? It's his either pole or nothing. The problem is when you've done nothing, Lewis Hamilton, it just makes this lap like either like you're going to qualify and start the race 10th, or you stick it on pole position. And he's up. He's up on Kimi Antonelli, half a tenth. Lewis. Charles Leclerc's up. Even faster than Lewis, nearly a tenth. Norris is down. Lewis, middle sector, 2/10 up. Charles is going to be next. What can he do on Kimi Antonelli? Lewis, Phil Beans round the final corner. He's pole for now. Charles Leclerc is 3/10 up on Antonelli in the middle sector. Charles Leclerc is, well, with that middle sector, he's got to be on top, hasn't he? Oh, pole! Charles Leclerc. Norris, a tenth off. Piastri is down. Max is 5 thousandths off Charles Leclerc's pole lap time. We can't see Antonelli's time. I've not seen Antonelli. What? Oh, big spin, Max! He was getting, oh, he's into the barrier. Is that red flags? It's going to be yellow flags. That's everybody's done. It's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. Kimi Antonelli. You can't be. It's going to be yellow flags, isn't it, in that sector? Yes. It's a Ferrari 1-2. We were all wrong. Oh, George has taken points. Ooh, that's going to be controversial. George Russell is pole position. Well, Russell's on pole. I thought it was over. Is it yellow or double yellow? They're saying that the time might not count for George Russell. That is dramatic. Well, Kimi, you're right. Oh. Oh, he dropped it in the before he got even in. Oh, Max was on a flyer, wasn't he? Look, he's over the crest. He's lost it before. It went very early into that corner for Max. Max was giving it. He was right on there, wasn't he? He was 5 thousandths off Charles Leclerc middle sector. George Russell was... I can't see what his best was. His best was in the middle sector. He was a very good final sector from George Russell. 2 tenths up, but... Sorry for you there, Primcat. Oh, he's not really. Are they lifted? It's going to be a fight for pole in the steward's office. All right, so it's apparently it shouldn't. He's got to abort the lap. Russell incident, yellow flag infringement noted. Well, I do like Charles Leclerc on the front row, but Kimi Antonelli bailed on his lap, but George didn't. Russell celebrating a pole position. It's debatable. I mean, we need this like solved now, don't we? We don't want to be carrying on with this like all night. That was brilliant, but we kind of got robbed a little bit, and it should have been, in my opinion, it should be Leclerc and Hamilton 1, 2, Antonelli 3, and then Russell 4, and then Max P5. In a double yellow, it's deleted, but no, we should find out now, Kimi, on that one. There's no way that we can leave this all night. Well, they're already investigating it, so I hope they just clarify it and don't say we need to look at telemetry or data. Apparently, if it's a double waved yellow, which it was, then you have to abort the lap. But the time that was potentially signaled, according to Bernie Collins, was we'll find out on Wednesday. Yeah. So the time it was potentially a double yellow, Russell had passed it. But did he lift and did he lift enough? I have no idea. We'll find out on Wednesday. Oh, I kind of hope he doesn't get to keep that pole position, because that grid with a Ferrari first and second and a Mercedes third and fourth with Antonelli ahead of George is absolutely brilliant. Kimi didn't do his lap. He aborted it, which is seeing the yellow flag. So he's going to be safe from wherever he is. Oh, that was... Well, it wasn't going to be the Ferraris on pole, was it, with George Russell's lap? He lifted and still got pole position. But what? Russell, how do you feel? Feels incredible. You saw the yellow. He said he lifted. He was 5 tenths up and then 2 tenths up. And when he lifted, I said it wasn't a double yellow. It doesn't look like he was. Like, if you look at the lap times, he did a 16.4 to Charles Leclerc's 16.485. Sector 2, he did a 29.6, as did Charles Leclerc. And it was the last sector, a 20.04 and a 20.232 from Charles. What a lap from Charles Leclerc, though. He got ahead of... He's been beaten by Lewis Hamilton pretty much in every session, but when it counted, Charles Leclerc, the man, has come up with no further investigation. Russell, yellow flag infringement. He keeps it. Oh, Kimi Antonelli, you can hear him ready. That was the lap. That was the lap, man. He's peed off Kimi Antonelli with the yellow flag. Lewis. Lewis Hamilton with the two Ferraris, second and third. Well, they've tuned it up a little bit. That's the first time in a long time that I've seen the Ferraris to step it up a little bit. Lewis, just saying he's really proud. We've seen him say this a lot, hasn't he? And as soon as he gets the moment in front of the telly on the mic, he's praised his team. Yeah, confirmed, Kimi. No further action on Russell. It just came up on screen. You can celebrate. You were right. What a lap from George Russell. 2/10. He lifted as well. He did lift. You could hear that on the radio, on the on-car footage. So he gets his pole position. A 100-meter lift before the corner, he said. George Russell did it. I mean, it's a shame because we didn't quite see what Max Verstappen could do, and we didn't see what Kimi Antonelli would do. I would prefer Kimi, but felt George in me waters. Yeah, it was, well, he's done it. I would prefer Kimi as well, to be fair. Big race tomorrow. A big race for George Russell. Can he put it right? What went wrong for him in Barcelona in terms of the race? We might talk about that because it was... well, it was meant to be his race to win, wasn't it, in Barcelona? Yes, he gained a huge 18 points on Kimi Antonelli because of Antonelli's DNF, but he can't be happy with his race because he was beaten by Lewis and he was beaten by Antonelli, but for a DNF with 2 laps to go. But Crofty is saying, well, I might be wrong here. I'm not missing Silverstone. Things have changed, Kimi. So we'll be here next year for the watch along. So not spewing anymore. You can, yeah, Crofty talking rubbish as usual, but he's saying that actually Kimi Antonelli aborted his lap before Russell because he got a message on his things to say double waved yellow. George got that message but continued his lap, and you have to abort the lap. So I'm not sure what's going on here. But the sign came up saying no further investigation. Toto saying it's fine. Toto saying he gave a 100-meter lift. It was a single yellow, but according to Crofty and what he can see on his data, and the reason why. They're saying that Kimi. Why did they ask? Well, he asked the question that why did Kimi lift because he thought it was a double yellow. George didn't. Is the wedding off? Yay and oh no. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'll be watching the British Grand Prix. Maybe oh no as well. Not great, but it's what it is. But yes, watch along for the British Grand Prix is still on, which is next weekend. It is. Yeah. Back to back. So you'll hear from me. I'll be here for you guys. You can join me. So with Crofty and his nonsense, he's thrown it in the mix potentially that actually George might not keep that pole position, but it looks like. But there was definitely a no further investigation sign as they were talking to one of the drivers. Yeah, you can join me on my watch along prick cat. The company he's gonna get. But it is what it is. Happens in life. Well, that was an interesting watch along. Russell on pole position, or is he? Isn't he? We're still potentially in the. Yeah, there's. Yeah, he's old enough to know about that. Kimi, but I'll pass on the advice. You can join for the watch along and just cheer him up instead. What better place to be? Hey, right here, and join in with us. But final thoughts as I absolutely melt and fall apart in this in the what a qualifying session in the end. Such a shame. Max Verstappen, he was 5 thousandths up on Charles Leclerc, who was sitting pretty on pole position. But, well, he dropped it, and a double waved yellow or a waved yellow, we don't know. It was a yellow flag either way, meant Kimi got a notice that it was a double waved yellow, and he aborted his lap, very unhappy with the yellow on that one. George lifted, carried on with the lap, and, well, apparently there's a note to say he got a double yellow notice, just the same as Kimi, but didn't abort the lap. So... well, one Mercedes driver got it, one Mercedes didn't get that notification. Either they both did or they both didn't. We'll find out soon enough, but there was definitely an investigation by the stewards, and that was then investigated, and then no further investigation. So we'll find out, I guess, maybe Wednesday, like you say, Primcat. Well, we'll see you in the race tomorrow. So join me for the watch along for the race. George Russell, as it stands, is the man on pole position, being hunted tomorrow by the two Ferraris. Charles Leclerc ahead of Lewis Hamilton. The first time he's done that all weekend. Lewis in the hunt with a P3. I think that's so good from the Ferrari boys to see them right up there at the front. Big talk of championship battle, and it's the championship leader is fourth place. He abandoned his lap. So we'll see what happens there with him. Max Verstappen, well, we were laughing at you, Primcat, weren't we, midway through, where he nearly was out in Q2, made it through into Q3, and with a brilliant first lap, dropped it on his final run. And who knows, he could have been there, the man to be on pole position. It's two McLarens after that who are now the fourth best team as it stands on that one. And then Isaac Hadjar in P8. And then Liam Lawson out-qualifies Arvid Lindblad. Close between them, as I was probably just too carried away. 12 thousandths of a second between the two Racing Bull guys. Really, really good to see them two both get in the top of it. So... don't watch I'm sorry, I'm just reading comments, but yeah, sorry, but yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Pedal to the metal. Missed that about what's that about but don't get married. He dodged a bullet. Yeah, wedding. I was meant to mention as well. The story is pedal to the metal. So because you're now joining, and you can join me on all my watch alongs now and comment along, which is nice to see. We've got new people. Yeah, but was meant to be missing the Silverstone Grand Prix. I wasn't going to be doing a watch along, and you probably would have just got a bit of a review. But I will be here for the Silverstone watch along for the race next Sunday. I'll be here for the watch along for the race tomorrow as well. So about 10 minutes before, I know it says 15 minutes before the start time when the schedule on the stream, but that's because YouTube don't let you do sort of set times. There's normally say 10 minutes to so it'll be 10 minutes to the hour rather than quarter to, even though it says that it'll start at quarter to. That's the only time I can see set. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. So I'll be there for the watch along. Join me for the watch tomorrow long. Ted now saying that. Sorry, just getting away with Fred. Fred saying, I don't have access to the data, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Potentially there was a double waved yellow, but it wasn't potentially. But he's disappointed, isn't he, Fred? Because, well, it should be a Ferrari 1-2 at the head of the field. But yeah, I'll try and have a cool day, get in front of an AC or a fans. But yeah, I'll be here about 10 to 2 UK time, 2 p.m. GMT as whatever it is your time. I don't know, maybe Google it, whatever, if you're abroad. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really enjoyed that watch along. A brilliant qualifying session in the end, although finishes in some sort of controversy, doesn't it? We don't really know at the moment who's on pole position. You'll be in front of a heater and I need to be in front of a hand prim cap. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the watch along, and welcome Pedal to the Metal as well on the watch along and to the chats. Very nice to have you here. See you on the next one tomorrow. Be there or be square. See you soon.